Well,
They should know.
didn't Ian, I
He
saw,
said,
I thought I saw a date on Ian's letter.
unless the commissioners
Yeah.
wanna take a different route with this is how we're handling it, and for some reason, I've got May in the back of my mind. I don't know why, May, you might wanna, yeah,
Let's double check his
Yeah.
message.
it could be April, I don't know why I'm thinking May, I could be wrong.
That's too long a time.
It is, that is a long time.
So we should talk about this at the meeting.
Yep, no, you're right. I have given a date of May 15th
See?
to have it replaced or shut off.
That's what
So
I'm
you're
saying.
absolutely right.
Right,
That's way too long.
So we shouldn't discuss it now.
okay.
Yeah.
Here's your audience.
Well, it's about
Well,
time.
welcome back.
Dun, dun,
Welcome
dun.
Thank you. Good to be back.
You gotta be careful because your blood's awfully thin now from being down in town. Yeah, with the exception of the snow you had and the
That's
freezing
right,
temperatures
yeah.
for a week or
Yes,
so.
in
But
Florida. It's a year event.
Dinah can have mine if,
no, one time when I was
gonna
stationed
say, I
at
looked
Okay.
this over.
at the dive school
You
in
need one,
Panama
Dinah?
City Beach in December, I was out going for
You're
a run,
welcome.
and all of a sudden it was it was snowing like you wouldn't believe. It's like, what?
Oh, yeah, they said it was about that time.
Yeah.
You were the last event before this one. Amazing.
1 minute.
I have two. It says-
It's 8:58, almost 8:59, but not quite. We just right by the clock. 1 minute.
Oh,
What was it changed to the manifest?
Oh, I put that we paid New Hampshire retirement for January, but it was really for February, so I updated it.
Oh, okay. So just the month. there.
Yeah.
Just the name of the month.
Yeah, I
Okay.
kept the name in the announcement, yeah.
I have a short story on the retirement system. I don't know if you read it in the newspapers or online. They bought a $5 million building in Concord, a 32,000-foot commercial office building,
Really?
and that takes $124,000 a year off the Concord tax roll
Wild.
because evidently they can't charge them property taxes.
Oh, wild.
Right, because they're a state agency.
Yeah.
Okay, Carol, I have 9.
Yep, it's 9 now.
Good morning and welcome to the Tuesday, March 4th, 2025 Otherwise Board of Commissioners meeting. It is 9 a.m. and we start with the approval of the agenda. Typically, we see if we need a non-public session. I don't know of any need, and I don't see anything that we need to modify the agenda, so I make a motion that we approve this agenda.
Second.
How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0 on approval of agenda. Now we move to approval of the minutes of February 25th, 2025. I'll make a motion that we discuss and approve those minutes.
Second.
Discussion?
I have basically one little nit. It's no big deal. Under Jeff's report last week, bullet points 3 and 4 just starts out 2018 is having, then 2019 is next. Do we maybe want to just clarify that?
Oh,
Beginning?
truck.
2018
Yeah, the
Ram truck,
maintenance.
2009,
Yeah,
as opposed to the year. It's
That's
Sure,
inside
sure.
lingo.
yes, right. Just yeah, we have to remember people who weren't at these meetings, maybe reading these,
That don't eat and sleep this stuff.
and don't watch the Madison TV, but maybe review the minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have.
So the one I had was on the approval of the minutes of I got the 25th.
Did I have the wrong
okay.
date?
No. You have, for the approval of the minutes from the prior month, from the prior week,
Yeah.
you have
19. That was correct.
It should say 201 with Wooder abstaining. If you can find that.
I wasn't present that day. I was absent that day.
It says 201, and you think it should say what abstained?
Yeah,
That's what the point is. It doesn't say who abstained.
Even though I wasn't present?
He
In the
wasn't-
vote, you abstained because you weren't present for that.
Oh, gotcha.
because you weren't there
But
for
she-
that prior meeting.
Right. on
Which
Tues-
that's not the problem she has. The problem is it should say that you abstained. Does it?
It
No.
does not.
It does not.
Is that what you want?
Right,
But how could I abstain if I wasn't even there to say I
You
abstained?
abstained at the last meeting of the previous one before that.
You did. You
You
kind of
abstained
said,
at
well,
voting on minutes of a meeting that you
wasn't
weren't
here.
at. You were here last week to vote that you abstained on it because
Correct,
of that
correct,
reason.
correct, that's.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, got it,
Gotcha.
okay, I'm confused on the dates,
No,
okay.
good to know.
Got it,
Thank
got it,
you.
right, yeah,
All right.
that was the one thing I came up with.
Yep.
Where in the world is Woodard?
I told you, sometimes I'm not firing on all 6 cylinders.
No. At which meeting were you? No.
Where's Waldo?
So, any more adjustments?
Nope, that was it.
With those amendments, how do you vote?
Aye.
Approve these minutes? 3-0 on approval with those modifications. Now at 9:03, we move to approval of an operations and payroll manifest to the tune of $20,795.83. I'll make a motion to discuss and approve this manifest.
Second.
Discussion.
No, it all looked good.
You know that she sent a second one out this morning,
Yes,
the
to,
modified one.
to fix the
Yeah.
date
Oh,
for the retirement system.
Yeah.
And that's the only
memo.
change.
Yep.
The numbers are all the
the
same.
numbers remain the same?
Yes.
Correct.
It's just the date of?
It was just the
Okay.
date,
Okay, yeah, I see it now.
because it was February.
Mm-hmm, okay.
So highlights to this manifest is the village purchased 47.74 tons of rock salt for the roads. And that had a dollar figure of $3,814.42. I don't know if we import that from other countries, but I think it comes in by boat.
With the tariff or without?
That's what I'm indicating. Depending on where we get it from, it could go up by 20 or 25%.
Uh-huh.
You had a note in here to look at the invoices for Napa. See invoices.
Oh, because there was so many different things, you can't
There were a number of things on it.
possibly put them all on them.
But it got Blue Deaf.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was quite a few trips to Napa last
Yeah.
week.
They keep
So quite a
coming
few
in.
different
They
slips.
keep coming in every
Um,
day.
We were fixing things.
Yeah.
You know, the Thursday storm beat us up a little bit, and things broke and kind of bouncing back and forth. But I can get into that after we get to the report here.
And then there's paying telephone bills and staples and small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussions on this? All in favor of approving this manifest for $20,795.83, say aye.
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 3-0 on approving this manifest. At 9:05, we move to the DPW report. Good morning,
morning.
Jeff.
So yeah, to get back on that. So yeah, the Thursday storm, which went during the day and a little bit into the early evening, the spreader went on the 18. It loosened up, so the chain wouldn't work, full of sand, which is never fun. So we ended up getting that to get going, and the sand we got out of it. So we had to fix that on Friday. We had to tighten that up, and that entailed, that truck we set up with sideboards and the headboards, and that's a bit of a challenge because the front of the spreader is where you have to tighten the chain, and that's the one we bought the new chain for. We're just kind of hadn't had time really to change that chain over and the manpower
Oh.
to do it. So we've been running the old chain, hoping that it doesn't let go, something like it did. So it didn't let go, but it got loose. So getting it tight, you have to climb in a space about that big to get to the front of the truck, to get to the sprocket, to tighten the chain. There's a couple of bolts and pulleys and pushes them in to tighten that chain up.
Wow.
Well, I'm not the slimmest guy, and Tony's a big guy, and getting in there is a little difficult. And there was a lot of in and out, and then, you
So this is leading to a weight loss reduction program?
right. So there was some grease fittings that needed, but this was a lot of back and forth trips to Napa.
Yeah. Okay.
Between that
Physical
and
requirements for the new employee.
some other things that we needed to tighten up and get ready for the next event coming on Saturday. So that was what we had done, and we got that set up. So Saturday, a hydraulic line went underneath the 2019, shut that down in the middle of the storm. Wasn't a big storm, but 2-3 inches you still got to do, just like you're saying with 13 inches. Got to get everything cleaned up. So midway through that storm, the hydraulic line, so that truck got shut down. So out comes the big truck, and we got things done. And I got that truck over to Albany Service, because it was a main line underneath from the bank and everything else. And they got that. We should be picking that up when I leave here, and that'll be back in action for what we might get tonight into tomorrow. Some freezing rain that might be coming that could grease up the roads pretty badly. So without that, again, we're stuck with the big truck and one truck with, you don't know when the sander's gonna come or go on that truck. So it's always a battle with those little types of things. So that's where there's quite a bit of invoices from Napa with a few of those things going on. But we got through it, and we'll get through it again. So we're just gonna keep at it and keep working it. We did some winging back yesterday in preparation for the rain. Willie came in, and we got a lot of roads done yesterday, winging back, and unfortunately he had something to do today, so we couldn't kind of attack it this morning, with the cold, because tomorrow it's going to warm up, Thursday's going to warm up. We're hoping that it firms back up Friday where we could do some more winging back. So we're out today with the backhoe doing water turnouts, pushing some banks back, and again preparing for some 1.5 to 2 inches of rain that are on the way. So that's what's going on. The service was done on the 2018. So they go through and they do a multi-point inspection on it. And that came up, well, there was a couple things I knew of that I had them take a look at. One was the windshield washer reservoir is broken on that truck. It's been broken since the fall. Doesn't hold any windshield washer fluid. So they took a look at that. That's a $502 replacement.
It's a little plastic container, not a little bit.
What's that?
It's a plastic box.
Yeah.
Well, $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to take.
Isn't there a pump included with that?
It may be. I think it's the whole assembly.
Yeah.
But there's so many different things have to be taken off to get at it. So that's parts and
Mostly labor.
Oh, wow.
So there is the struts, the pistons that the hood goes up and stays up. Those are shot, so it kind of just falls right back down if you're not careful. They're $252 to buy and replace. And the one other thing was the timing cover gasket is shot, so that's leaking oil. Slowly, but it's leaking oil. That's a big job. That's like a 40-hour job, he said, to pull the cover off the motor to replace. It's probably a $5 gasket, but a $40 job. I mean, a 40-hour job. That's a $2,677.75 job. So you're looking at a total of around $3,500 for some more service to be done on this truck.
Everything you just mentioned.
This is the 2018 Ram?
The 2018 Ram. So now, what they did on the truck, when they serviced it last week with the filters and all that, was a $785 job. I don't know if that invoice from Mark Motors came in yet, but that should be coming in. Now they did all the fuel filters, they did the oil and all that. But these were the things that they found on the multi-point inspection. And the way he said it on that timing cover is, if you make it through the winter season. He made it seem like it was pretty important to get that taken care of.
The leaking gasket.
Yeah.
So you should get a decision right now as to what we want to do.
How much was it again?
It's gonna be it's around $3,500.
Yeah.
When you add up the $2,677 the 502, and the 252.
What was the gasket?
It's a timing cover gasket.
Okay,
What would happen if that failed?
You blow the motor.
You
yeah,
blow the motor?
that's a serious
All
thing.
the oil would come out, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, dry up the.
Yeah, if that lets go, you'll blow the
So
motor.
it's right below the reservoir or something? I just,
So we have
trying to
a-
picture.
We have a good streak of weather coming up that there's no storms in the
Right.
next 5 days.
If I can make it, because they said it's about a week to get the parts.
Oh, geez.
Wow, really? Okay.
So, like we tried to do with the grader, we should approve this so they get the parts and then tell us when they have them all,
Right,
so they're not tying
right,
up
so
the
we can
truck
get the
waiting for
truck
all
down
this
there,
part.
leave it for a day, get it the next day type of thing.
And hopefully
Right.
they won't come up with another $22,000 worth of stuff to do like they did with the grader.
Well, you know, with the, like I say, with their multi-point inspection, that should be,
Yeah,
but
they-
you, like you say, you know, things happen.
Hopefully they caught everything.
Right,
So the 785 is separate from that 35?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion that we notify Mark Motors that we would like them to order the parts for this
Okay,
estimate to get the 2018 completely fixed.
second.
All right.
No further discussion, what are you?
Aye.
3-0 on notifying
Yeah.
Mark Motors.
I'll get moving on that, and like you said, I'll time that with the weather. I mean, also, you know, again, the 19 needs to go down for service as
Yeah,
well,
right.
and I'll get that timed with the weather. So I'm assuming, again, I don't know, but the same things, the oil, the filters, the fuel filters with that, so you're probably looking at another one of those $800 bills
yeah.
for that.
Now,
Yeah.
would you want to amend the line on the floor of the maintenance budget to cover this known expenditure that we're having in March?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, that maybe we need to amend the line item in our budget.
Yep, that's
proposal.
why it's good to do these things before the annual meeting, when you have hard evidence of what the budget looks like at the end of the year.
And yes, I think we should,
Amend?
yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna be 3,500 plus whatever the 2019 is gonna need,
Right,
Yeah.
When it
2019 is
Plus
gonna go down.
maintenance.
and that'll go in after the 18 gets taken care of?
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't know what the 19, do you have any idea what the 19 is gonna need dollar-wise?
Well, again, it's gonna need all those fuel filters and air filters and oil like the other one, so that was, you know, $800, just close to $800. Now, it is also throwing a code on to have the stability control service, so I'm not sure what that's gonna entail.
So we know about
on that truck.
35 plus 8. So we know we're gonna amend this up to 40, by 4,300 right now on the floor, Saturday,
Minimum.
yes. What else you got?
Just a side note, because you mentioned salt and what that costs.
Right.
You know, I saw something in the news a couple weeks back about a salt shortage.
Yes, I kept meaning to ask you whether you were getting that message from your supplier.
No, no. So when I called the guy and you know, and I was going to order some salt, he put me on hold and he said, "Hold on a minute." And you know, when he come back, he said, "Okay, yeah, we could do that. What do you need?" And so I told him I'll get 2 loads, the triaxle loads like we get. And I said, joking around, I says, "Hey, so is it true there's a salt shortage? What's going on with that?" And oh yeah, and he got all serious.
Really?
And luckily, we're on the municipality list,
Oh.
and they're giving them the municipalities,
Yeah.
but they're not giving them to, like, you know,
Right, it was the contractors they had in the
Contractors.
news that were doing
Right.
private contracts for parking lots and stuff.
yeah.
They were
So
buying it by the bags at the hardware store.
yeah, so you know, luckily we are what we are, and we're not some association or something like that.
Yeah, because they can bank on how much we buy, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, as a side note, thought that was kind of, you know, a little interesting.
Yeah.
But so Tony's boy is an interesting guy. He's awesome, and he's a wheeler and dealer, and you know, he gets things other towns to buy in bulk to get on to certain things, delineators, and I know Tony's mentioned these types of things in the past. Well, he's got this product that a guy come in and showed them, and it works awesome. And that was one of the reasons we went down there too. It's the stuff to wash the vehicles, the equipment, and the trucks with. It's called Total Wash, WR Total Wash or something like that. And you could look it up online. Anyway, he's got a bunch of towns and municipalities going in on this, and it's 4 cases of the stuff with 12 bottles in a case. With the 2 jugs that hook up to your pressure washer and a special nozzle that goes on, and you spray it down and it foams up your vehicle. Gets all foamed up, and then you spray it. First you spray it with the water, then you foam it up, and then you spray it back, and it does its job, and then you spray it down, and it cleans the trucks almost like they come out of the showroom on the outside. It's really good stuff, and that whole package is $552.51 to get in on it through this, bulk
And what do we do now?
setup. Well, we buy some car wash stuff and we hose them, wash them with the old-fashioned bucket, and and do them like that.
So how many
So
washes would that 552 get us?
12 bottles.
12 bottles. I believe you get about 2 washes a bottle, like 2 vehicles per bottle, or something like that.
Did you see this?
Huh?
Did you see this in
Yeah,
action?
yeah, it was pretty. The jugs, like the little jug
Yeah.
that goes, I don't know how big the 12 bottles are of the soap, but the jugs, you do 1 jug and that does the whole truck, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 1 bottle, we'll do 1 truck, or 1 bottle will do 2 trucks?
2 trucks.
2 trucks. So we get 12 washes out of that. Have I got that right?
24.
You'll get
12
24
12
per
bottles.
bottle.
12 bottles.
2 trucks per bottle.
Wait, 1 truck per bottle or
You
2?
said 2.
I
Oh,
think
2.
it's 2 per
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
jug.
so every time you pull out 1 bottle, you're doing 2 trucks. So that's 1 wash for both, for everything we have, for the 2 trucks.
So your question was how many trucks do you wash for 552? That's buying some equipment with it too. Sprayers?
Right. No, the spray, the nozzles come with it.
Okay.
The jugs and the nozzles.
Yeah.
So the nozzles are disposable, you throw
I
them
guess the
away?
question would have to be, is how much soap is in the bottles that come in the case?
My question would
Yeah.
be, what happens to the tight tank that's taken off?
We don't wash in the shop, we wash off the side of the building. We don't wash the trucks in the building.
No.
We always washed off to the side.
Is there?
Near the door, so it's not in the well, protected well?
Right, off
Right.
to the side there, like towards the sander rack type
Right.
area.
I'd like to know what's in this,
Yeah, is there any?
ingredients.
Yeah.
What's this? Do you know how much a case is?
We haven't been getting complaints about the trucks not being shiny.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm just throwing it
I
out
know.
there.
Yeah.
Unless it has some sort of known protective characteristics to the outside of the truck, in addition to cleaning off all the salt, sand, and other grime that,
Right. Like I said, a Total Wash is the name of it. I know Tony showed me a video of it.
Yeah.
And then I just saw the trucks, I saw them spray the truck down there and do it. I didn't look at the
We weren't in
bottles.
search of a solution for a problem, right?
Yeah.
So I'm passing for now.
Again, that's
Just
fine.
throw it out there. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's all I got.
Oh, all right.
Oh, the annual meeting on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like us to go?
You're welcome to come if you'd like to come.
Okay.
I think people like seeing you guys there.
Yeah. Okay.
We're forcing the administrator to come.
Oh, at least have to go once just to see.
See what it's like.
Take notes.
You mean I have to work?
No, that's his job on Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
He takes the minutes.
Oh, hell.
He takes the minutes.
Doug's gonna get the
Yeah.
carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
I'll bring my recorder.
But yeah, that's all I have.
We think it's going to be very low key, but you never know.
You don't ever know.
Any questions for Jeff?
No.
No?
I do.
Nice
I have
job,
one before you
Wacker.
go.
Bring it back.
Thank you.
The barrier that we're talking about putting across the front of the salt shed,
Yep.
I'll discuss with you a plan for the cables. I think I have a pretty good idea for the cables. I saw Tony across the fence. I didn't see you. You might have been crawling into the
Oh, the other day.
Sandra.
Yeah, I think I was in the truck having
Yeah,
a little
stuck in there.
claustrophobic feelings there.
Yeah.
So rather than call you out of that to talk to you, I just yelled to him. I want you guys to think about how you would lock this. Do you want 2 locks at the end of each piece of cable, top and
Top and
bottom?
bottom.
I think
Or do you
so.
want an angle iron
You mean like,
and the 2
one.
cables run into an angle iron and there's 1 lock? And then the other question is, how do you picture you handling rolling the barrier or pulling the barrier out of the place and piling it up? You know, without thinking of that, that could be a real pain in the neck if we thought of something after we did it that,
Right.
like something that rolls it
yeah,
or something that hangs it, pulls it up out of the way on a pulley. But after you do it a few times, you're gonna look for a highly efficient way of doing it. What's it gonna look like dragging it through the sand?
Right.
I was
You
even
can
thinking
pull
of
it
running
back
over-
and, like you say, maybe have a
Running
hook to hook it up to.
Right,
That way it sort of drapes and keeps out. That
Or
way it
even
don't
dropping
build up
it.
with snow.
dropping it and running over it.
Right. I don't know if
I
we
don't
want to do
know.
that. That's
Yeah.
I
how
Yeah.
thought,
Get caught
I thought
up
of all
and
the
stuff.
options.
Right, right.
It would look like hell, it would wear out fast.
Right,
and
right,
ready
right.
to
Yeah, the
tangle up in
tires
the
would beat
backhoe
it up.
tires, yeah.
No, I think sort of had to pulling it around to one side or the other, maybe the calcium tank side, and having it sort of latch up somehow up there, keep it kind of wrapped around,
Out of the way,
or something
yeah.
like that.
So if you like the idea of 2 locks, I'm thinking eye bolts on both sides where the cable runs through the fixed end. If you're thinking it locks on the opposite end from the tank,
yeah.
which we're talking about the right side facing
Right.
the door. That's
Yeah.
what you're thinking.
Yes.
So it all folds up next to the block wall of the tank.
Yeah.
So the cable, you get the cable and it has built into it 2 interior metal curves that keep the loops open. And the lock goes through those.
Oh,
50-foot cable, we run it 21 feet top and bottom, 3 feet up the fence, and take up the slack with some clamps,
Yeah.
so it's adjustable. Should we want to adjust it if the cable stretches for some reason or whatever.
Right.
And the bicycle brass locks that you have with the big loops.
Yeah, that goes in there and nuts up.
So you'd be doing 2 locks, locking them in place, pulling this thing towards the tank, and you're folding it up over there.
Yeah, somehow sort of just kind of keeping it over there.
so would it be an easy replacement of the?
Yes, that's the
it would.
idea is,
Yeah,
I don't know if we want to put tie wraps around the netting on the cable. We could put a few of them, and then we have a easily replaceable netting the way we're buying it.
yeah, right.
And the cables are adjustable.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think on the lock end, one piece of metal
You know, loop out of it to the,
Yeah.
to,
the
you know
eyeball.
what I mean? That way, so when you grab it, it's all going together.
So you guys will cut a angle iron for the end,
Yeah, we could, if we don't
The
have
length of-
something, yeah,
the
we'll have
length
to
of the
get
net?
something, but yeah,
and you know the size of that.
probably be about 4 feet, then that's 3 feet, or, you know, something like that.
You want a little longer.
We could figure out when we kind of get looking at it.
So maybe I'll give you the net so you can use it to measure how you're going to cut the angle iron and
Right.
how we're
We
going to
have
secure
the
it to
net
the
come
net.
in.
I have the net.
Yeah, yeah, so that way we could start kind of, we gotta get the cable still,
Right.
so
I
we
wanted
could
to
get.
check with you to have this conversation before I got the cable.
Yeah,
It's all prefabbed at Home Depot,
right,
$50.
right,
The whole net without the cable that we had the locking part of it was $150. So this is easily replaceable.
right.
Cheap. All right, so I'll get you the net and I'll get the 50-foot cable and we'll work from there.
Right. Yeah,
That's all I have.
okay,
All right.
get back at it then. Yep.
Thank you, Jeff.
you.
Good job in these last 2 storms.
Thank you very much.
The one
I
on
had some-
Thursday, I think
I had some real good help.
you measured 5 inches, I think, by the time it was over.
Yeah,
Came back
Thursday,
a little bit.
Easy.
Yes.
yeah,
Easy.
I measured 5.
Yeah.
5 even.
yeah, I thought about 5 to 6, so.
Yeah.
I'll,
Yeah.
I gotta go up and see Jen about the phone at some point. I'll, have those other storms added to that list there that you guys have been
Okay.
keeping track of.
Oh, yeah.
the
Right.
estimates, so I'll take care of that too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So at 9:26, we move to a possible administrator's report. You don't have
Business
any?
as usual.
Let's see, do we have anything? You didn't have a chance to call any garage companies,
Garage
garage
companies?
door maintenance companies? No?
No, I
I
didn't
called-
know I was supposed to
I
call
called
garage
two, we
doors
discussed
maintenance.
that a little last week. I called two of them, I heard back from one of them, I should have told Jeff that. Can you tell Jeff that there are vendors, we don't want to have the vendor that did maintenance on the garage door come back because
Yep,
his price is
Hi,
Yeah.
higher.
yeah.
Okay.
His hourly rate is high.
I talked to a guy this morning that charges $90 to come out and do a diagnostic inspection. He charges between $90 and $125 to work on the garage door, bringing his truck and all his stuff. And the size of our doors are in the 125 area, because these are big
Mhm.
commercial doors. I told him we have 5 doors that we're looking for somebody on an ongoing basis. But even at his highest price in the range,
that's a flat charge?
Getting near the fire extinguisher.
The
it's an hourly
125
charge.
Oh, it
The
is
90 is a flat charge,
Right.
the 125 is an hourly charge
Yeah.
to work on the big doors.
Mhm.
I said we have one thing, the previous visit by the company Lost Jews. Need some help with that?
We're good, they're just certified.
Doing
Oh.
the
Oh,
inspections.
oh.
Time, yep.
You don't
Yep.
want us to leave the
What's
building,
going
huh?
on in there?
He's leaving, but. So, we need to, this guy's closer to us, and we
Oh,
need to go
nice.
for the better price.
Yeah,
And there's another company who probably just called me back, but I couldn't get cell
Okay,
phone
gotcha.
reception here, so. Just tell
Yep.
Jeff that we don't wanna
No
use,
problem.
just because of the pricing.
Yep.
Not that he didn't do a good job. Cause they think he did a good job, but
yeah.
Tell him if it makes his price competitive. Same price, but, okay.
How often do we have someone come in to maintenance on the doors?
it's a whole new world compared to what the history they've had since.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So they should be done on a regular basis so that
Right.
we don't run into a problem.
I see.
Right.
We can't afford to have them not be able to get the garage door open during a
Correct.
storm.
Gotcha.
Preventative maintenance.
We're running things a little differently.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
So that's my administrator's
Sure.
report. We don't have any tabled items. Do we have signature items other than the manifest?
Nope.
At 9:30, we go to commissioners' reports.
You're up.
And this week I talked to Holly Evans at New Hampshire Emergency Management Homeland Security about where we are with the FEMA. I think last week I was telling you that I hadn't talked to anybody from FEMA since November 26th, and a new team has replaced the team I was talking to for all summer, and this is the 4th team I've had. And Holly had me send in a request for extension on the Grissom Culvert project,
Mhm.
which
Saw that letter.
FEMA's definition of what's going on is just, I need to talk to the new ladies that are now my new team and find out why the website is so wrong about everything to do with the Grissom Culvert. It has this thing, architectural and engineering only, and Holly told me to ignore the cost that they have on it of $70,000, because she knows that this thing is in the $500,000 area. So I haven't given up, and talking to Holly kind of had me walking myself in off the ledge, and I'm getting my facts together for. I asked the 2 new FEMA people, the team, to arrange for a video conference starting next week. Because
Okay.
this week is
Right.
not a good week for me with what we're doing and things that I have to do myself. So next week we
Yeah.
resume. But it turns out the strategy that we agreed on fits the mess that it looks to me now. It looks like we could straighten it out. It may be new pictures on different parts of the project. There's still 6 projects.
Yeah.
I've been working on trying to get them. On the FEMA website, it says the Barden Culvert Project and the Bergdorf Culvert projects are complete and 100% documented. The new FEMA team says, where's all the documentation?
Right.
I'm saying, why are you asking me? It's your website that says it's fully documented. And so the previous board had a public hearing that DRA requested that they told them, mandated that they do, because they reported that they were gonna be over budget for the year. And in the presentation they made to the public under the DRA mandate, they said that they had submitted $90,000 worth of expenses for what was done in July. I have to assume that the Barden Bergdorf culverts were part of that. So I need to ask them, what did they get? Where is that? Because we can't find the invoices for the rental of an excavator to fix the Bergdorf and Barden culverts. I haven't given up the search, but.
Unless it was something done prior.
Well, you gave me a
Prior.
printout of all the vendors that were
I know.
paid for anything
Yeah.
from July through October.
Yeah.
Unless it was done after
I
October.
know.
There's no rental of an excavator in the QuickBooks report.
Or an amount that would make you think it's part of a, I don't know.
And it wasn't, I thought, well, maybe they didn't rent from Coleman Rental. Did they get it from M&B or somewhere else? But there's no other vendor in that
No, I
report.
didn't see anything.
So, I'm working on it. It's like I'm starting over.
Is this a legacy thing?
Like all
Yeah,
last summer,
that's too
meeting
bad.
every week with them. So our plan is, if this is just unsolvable, our plan anticipates that.
Right.
We do what's part of the regular budget.
Mhm.
I ran to the bank to get yet another letter notarized to upload to,
Sam.
Sam.
.gov.
This is an agency of the federal government that gives unique identifier entity numbers to companies and municipalities that do business with the federal government. So all contractors that do federal contracts have to have a unique entity number and identify who the administrator is. So we had to send 3 times to this agency a notarized, meaning I had to run to the bank. The bank guy knows me now, even though I don't have an account there. And I had to listen to him fume about the federal government.
Everybody's here.
And we got a response saying they acknowledged that we finally got everything that they wanted. The last one was rejected because we gave them the box number and the address. They rejected the letter and needed another notarized letter that had the address without the box number in it.
Exactly the way that they wanted it.
So,
It's,
so they acknowledged that they accepted the letter, but then there's like 6 paragraphs saying,
it's insane.
and I think a lot of it has to do with, is if we were a contractor pursuing federal contracts.
Right.
So, did you take out of it anything that we had to do next?
I did. I went, and after this point, since now I'm the
Administrator?
appointed, yes, I could go in
Ah,
and try to set up to have it
this is like administrator's
renewed.
report.
It's insane.
So you're reporting on Sam every week to us.
Apparently now, yeah.
So,
So,
no more
okay.
notarized letters.
No, it was, that particular incident is resolved and accepted. I could move on to take it to the
The
next,
next
which is
steps.
renewing the unique identification.
So I
And
sent that
now
whole.
it's out there, but it could take up to 2 weeks
Okay,
to,
so I sent all that to Holly.
yeah,
Maybe she's familiar with it and would cipher through that we
Yeah.
don't have an because they gave us the identifying number and all this.
and it should still be the same.
it's not
We
renewed.
just, it's in process now.
So,
So I haven't crossed
Do
the
we-
finish line on this
No.
yet.
No.
do we have to cut a check?
No checks.
It doesn't cost anything to do
No,
this.
there are companies marketing a $500 fee for them to consult and get you through all this.
Oh,
$500.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause
but
it's not
Sam itself
easy.
But
doesn't
Sam
cost money.
says this is absolutely free. You don't need to contact any other
Okay.
companies. You just need to do all the blood, sweat, and tears we're going to put you
Yeah,
through.
and have patience and,
Maybe this protects the federal government from fraud, but
well, yeah, now we're worried about Sam being threatened.
they should worry about the guy at the bank.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah, so it could
So-
take up to 12 days to be sure that it's, yeah. But I do have a contact person now
Wow.
that I can reach out to,
Humans.
yes,
Nice.
so that will help.
On top of that, there are multiple websites. There's a SAM website, and there's
Login.gov,
and
FM
the homepage
something.
of the website
.gov.
just make you want to
Just-
walk away
It's,
Mhm.
yeah.
because they don't
it's
tell you.
not-
It's just
Yeah,
hard to deal with.
yep,
Um,
we're getting there, slowly.
that's all I have.
Oh,
What do you have, Woody?
Okay, I apologize, I probably should have sent out a email this weekend to let mainly you know, but everyone else, that I did pick up the projector on the office on Saturday.
Gotcha.
Good.
Bob picked it up from me on Saturday and also relayed that if we have any changes to what he's gonna present, please get it to him as soon as possible. All I could tell him was, I think we're gonna have a follow-up meeting to this where we just focus on nothing but prepping for the annual meeting, so we may have something for him, but I couldn't
Or any
Does he
line
have all
item
the handouts
changes.
we had from the hearing?
does he have a
Does
what?
he have it? Does he have a digital form of all the handouts that we gave at the public hearing, the budget hearing?
Yeah, he was here.
He got a hard copy.
You got a hard copy.
Did he get a digitized that he can put
No.
into his onto his
I
laptop?
provided that to him myself. I created it and provided it to him.
We made some changes from the hard copy, right, from the budget meeting to the budget itself. I guess, does he have the latest and greatest budget form that we put together?
Does he have? You just to be clear, I'm not hearing. I think you're saying words that you gave him files on top of the handout that he got when he was here, hard
Yes,
copy. So
yes.
he has files.
He
okay.
does, yeah,
So
including the document that he requested that we put together
Mm-hmm.
for him for the
okay, so
presentation.
so we want to start with the FEMA screenshot that shows the projects because we presented it to the budget hearing and I was surprised that they got it the first time that we explained it. That everything we did was around a strategy of
Okay,
trying to pursue as much of the FEMA
Mhm.
as we can based on them turning around the cash flow. Do we need, we can't wait till Friday for a meeting and then tell him that we want this on his laptop.
yeah, you
No.
guys gotta,
I was thinking Thursday. Thursday would be good, and I kind of told him that we were probably looking at Thursday at doing this, no later than.
and he's okay with that?
Yeah, I think so.
He slammed new slides in at the,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't want him to do it the day of the meeting.
Right.
That's tough to do to anybody. So, let's
Okay.
decide when you want to get together to finalize.
I think he's basically tied up until, he told me he would love to come to that meeting on Thursday if that's when we're gonna have it.
Uh-huh.
But he can't do it on
Okay.
Thursday.
Oh.
But I think Friday, he's basically gonna be up here and have time during that day to do all the final preparations that he needs to do
Gotcha.
for the meeting the following day.
So do you want to meet before he gets to that, or do you want to do it the day that he's working on this and have him there?
Oh, I think we should do it before. I thought,
So you thinking Thursday?
I always thought Thursday was the good time to do it. That way that gives, if something happens, we still have Friday before, to,
So 2 p.m. is your usual time for Thursdays?
I will double check.
Yeah.
It usually is.
Yeah, Thursday it would have to be in the morning. I'm not available Thursday
Okay.
afternoon.
All right.
Yeah, I can do the morning. That's not a problem.
Should be pouring.
As long as it's not freezing rain, just regular rain.
What time Thursday?
9 o'clock?
Sure.
No more of this 8 or 8:30 stuff. Nine's pretty good. I'm a morning person, but still, it takes a while for the coffee to kick in.
I don't have anything on this, so.
All right, I'm gonna post this.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we have a meeting, public meeting at the office at 9 AM on Thursday, the 6th. That needs a second.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
So that should, if you could post that, that would be great. Now, Jennifer has never been through all the details of getting the actual meeting done. And I'm thinking the voter boxes, she's been kicking around that office for almost a year, but we're actually gonna use them Saturday. Those are the wooden boxes that I
There's
think
two wooden boxes that
Yep.
I've seen.
we need to check that the key and the locks are in them,
Oh, God.
They always
Good
are.
luck.
inside the box.
Oh,
They,
good.
they always are, there's never been,
Knock on wood.
And then there's the voter booths,
yep, they're in the they're in the closet.
which are little cardboard
Yep.
things that go on the table.
Yep, they're in the
A lot
closet.
easier than what we used to have to
Oh,
do.
yeah.
With these big metal
Oh.
things that used to try to bite your fingers off as you put them together. So, what are we doing as far as,
We can put that together Thursday while we're there.
Yeah,
Make
I
sure
would
that we have
assume so.
everything together.
without bringing them to the school?
Right,
When do we do in the school?
Saturday morning?
Yeah.
And then there's the canonical getting the key mission from the school.
The key will generally be available either Thursday afternoon or Friday morning through the school. And who wants to go get it?
That's getting it from Holly at the school?
Yeah,
I could do that,
okay,
get the key. Thursday or Friday, you say?
yeah.
Okay, so now what time Saturday do we want to get to the gym noise multifunction room called the gym?
Voting starts at 8, we're gonna need to be there at, 7?
0700?
No.
7 in the morning?
How long do you think it takes? It's putting a table out.
7:30.
And
7:30 at the,
you're
yeah,
expecting 60 chairs to be set up?
yeah.
60 chairs is a thing that take a little bit of time.
Yeah, but we have 2 hours to do that
Yeah,
while voting's happening.
yeah.
Voters don't need the chairs, they just need the table and the boxes.
Well,
Right.
they needed to socialize before.
Yeah.
So we're gonna show up at 8, vote, and, well, we need to set up the voting booths before 8, so
Correct.
She said 7:30.
7:30?
7:30.
7:30 Saturday.
The most important thing is, when is the EPOA gonna have the coffee and donuts set up?
I'll make a motion that we assign that responsibility to Wood and his family. Who's doing that? Do you know of anything about that?
Yes, Carrie, we're all set.
Yeah.
Carrie's working on that. Coffee,
So you
cheese.
guys should know that we'll be unlocking the doors at 7:30.
Right.
If you, I don't know when you want to start your services. And Madison TV, I don't know if you guys have a key to that room. Do you get into the gym? No? So 7:30 is when we plan on getting there.
Yeah.
Just the meeting's at 10.
10, so
Correct.
you guys can set up at
Yeah,
9:30, I
Aisha
guess.
and Amanda will be there.
Okay.
Good.
What other detail? Handouts?
Since he's present, we will have Doug finalize the ballots for Saturday, and then we'll make the copies once it's signed.
Okay. So he needs to get a blank ballot to sign, and then we make the copies from there?
Yeah, we have it at the, we already created one. So
Right.
it's just a matter of Doug coming in to sign it.
So you can do that anytime? Okay. And absentee ballots?
Are done.
Okay.
Yeah, because anybody who hasn't sent one already is pretty much running out of time to get it in.
Don't we
And there
check-
haven't been any requests, have there?
0.
Yeah, there's been no requests. So no absentee ballots are
Wow.
out.
Is that the first in a long time? That there's none?
I'm shocked.
Every once in a while, there's
None?
there's
Okay.
none.
Wow.
Last year, I think we just had one, maybe two.
Yeah.
That was it.
Jeez.
Anything else that I'm,
A question on the absentee ballots, is we need to keep the office open Friday, legally,
No.
to accept
No.
ballots? No, okay.
not if,
No, they
not
had,
if,
they had
if they don't have it by now, there's none
timeframe.
coming. So there's no reason to keep the office
Right,
open.
there was already a time frame and when they.
I don't know if we were doing it recent years, but the clerk would also go to the post office Saturday morning
Saturday morning.
to see if any were mailed in.
Oh, no kidding.
Right.
That's knowing that we sent them out to somebody that requested them.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
But
no
we
need
haven't
for you to
even
go to the
sent
post
any.
office,
Because there's none out there.
because we're guaranteeing you
Nobody's
shouldn't get one.
requested
None have been
anything.
sent out.
If you
Right.
do get one, we want you to call the state police.
Yeah.
Anything else on that? This is all in your report.
I know, it
You
is.
triggered
This is
it
just,
by,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Right, yep, well, that's okay. It's,
Well, it started
big-
off
the big
with
day is
projector,
coming up, so.
Yeah,
what say ye, Nancy?
okay. Nancy's turn.
That's, yeah. I was gonna say, I don't
She
think
had
there's
a
anything
talking
else we
point.
have there. So I put together the talking points.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I randomly put names next to it, because I didn't actually look at what we agreed before the budget hearing to see who was gonna say what.
Right.
So we can change anything that needs to be changed.
yeah, this is a working copy.
It is, I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys will talk more about
And we did the same
Thursday.
thing, like the Thursday before the budget meeting, or whenever we met right before the budget meeting.
Right.
We
Right.
went over all the same stuff and said who was gonna talk to what,
Yeah.
Right.
so.
now,
And one thing. Okay. I think we're gonna need to have and we can certainly go over this and put the wording together on Thursday. For Article 5, the sheriff's agreement.
I forgot to talk about that.
It will be a amendment, because right now the warrant says ratify the sheriff's agreement, and we want to make an amendment for the charge, so that we get into the full discussion of charging the sheriff's department moving forward to get some income for the VDOE.
We're changing it from a warrant article that ratifies a contract that we don't have signed to a referendum that we're just getting feedback on what they think they want to have us do moving forward from that.
That would be for Conway, because Conway, there is no contract. There is a contract that exists for the sheriff's department.
We could make this a interesting debate between you and I on this entire subject. And when we're done, we could see if there's anybody left in the audience.
It still boils down, it doesn't matter whether we have a contract or not. Isn't the real issue is, are people in favor of charging these people a fee, a
Right.
monthly fee for the use of our spaces?
Okay, so it's gonna be me and Woody debating you.
Yes, but right now, it is there for ratifying, because every 4 years, you need to ratify it.
And we're
this is a
ratifying.
ratify.
Yeah,
So we are going to ratify it with amendment, and the amendment's going to be the charge. And that's where we'll have the discussion with the voters as to whether or not they want to charge, and either the amendment will pass or not. If the amendment passes, then we will start working with the sheriff's department to charge the $500 and have those discussions. If it does not pass, then it'll be ratified as is, because that one exists. Conway is a brand new one.
Okay, that's why, it just logically, Article 15 in my mind should be Article 14, and 14 should be 15, because if we.
I agree with you,
if-
but that's not the way it went
Right,
together.
is there any reason why we can't bring up Article 15 first and say, if we ratify this with the amendment,
You
to
would make a
charge a
motion-
fee.
You would make a motion to reorder those.
Right.
And they would vote to
And-
reorder them.
And let's just assume, and I think this is the way it's gonna go, yeah, by all means, let's ratify this and let's get money out of them. Okay, let's now go on to Conway. We'd be virtually an identical contract, I imagine, and with a fee. So it's, the big hurdle has been passed over for one article, and the next article is just a straight run.
What do you think they're ratifying?
Basically
The
what.
contract, the
current
draft contract as it is?
Yeah,
See, that's where we differ.
This
We're not ratifying anything in my mind.
this gets signed every 4 years, or gets put in
Whenever
front
there's
of the
a-
voters and ratified or not ratified every so many years.
So that was ratified last in '21?
So was 2017 or 18
That's more than 4
was the
years.
last time, so 4 years it's supposed to be.
So it went into a default because it wasn't signed.
Right, in which
So-
case it remains in place with no changes
Right.
until it gets changed at a VDOE annual meeting.
So I don't get what's ratified Saturday. Ratified that unsigned?
We don't actually sign them. It's a standing agreement that's been in place since '84.
Was it ratified last year? Was it
No.
ratified since 2017 at an annual meeting?
No,
Then why are you saying that we're ratifying anything on Saturday?
because there's a thing in here that says that it stays in place until it gets ratified. So the
That's
existing
what's gonna
agreement.
happen. There's no ratifying Saturday, it stays in place. We haven't talked to them at all about any changes to this.
Right,
We haven't talked amongst ourselves about any changes to this.
right.
So that, in my mind, we're not ratifying anything Saturday. We are giving them a brief summary of what that document currently says and ideas of what we could possibly decide amongst ourselves first that we want to change, regardless of whether it's the sheriff or Conway, and have them say, yes, that's the direction we want you to go, or no, that's not the direction we want you to go. We'd like it to stay similar to exactly what it is now. And that's a referendum.
in preparation for a new warrant in 2026?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because if we make any changes to this agreement, or if we
Right.
agree to, or we make an agreement with the town of Conway, that will have to be ratified by the voters next year.
So,
So right now, I guess the thing would be, we will swap Article 4 and Article 14 and Article 15 on the floor, so that we,
Have a logical progression.
in my commissioner's report, I should have said that I spent a lot of time going over the draft that Doug converted into a PDF file from the hard copy. There was a couple of yellow highlighted words in there. Did you do that?
I did, I think there were some grammatical errors at the
Yeah.
lawyer.
I found Word was pointing out grammatical errors. It also had a legal error in it, that they defined the tenant as, they defined the leaseor as the Village District of Idawa's, and then said that VDOE is what it will be called as the document went forward. And then further down, it changed to start talking about Idlewice, which was not defined.
Right, it was not a well.
And that, yeah, I wondered whether an attorney was involved, and what's the name of the attorney that did this?
Right,
So it needs to be fixed. So I'm gonna fix it and label the file as the one that I fixed. And then I'm gonna work from there. And so I'll make the bullet, the summary to go into the handout and
Okay.
into the presentation.
Okay,
And if we're in agreement now that we hash through it, that it's gonna be in the form of changing it to a referendum as opposed to a vote to ratify a contract that hasn't been modified by us and hasn't been presented to, has no signature from the sheriff or another entity. In the contract, there's actually two entities that
Yes.
we're leasing to, which surprised me. The second one was the Greater Ossipee
Mutual aid.
Mutual aid.
Yes, it's fire and police.
Oh,
It's fire,
Fire.
not police.
Oh, okay.
And the entity is addressed at the sheriff's office. And we contribute to a public works municipal aid as a membership, I'm understanding.
Yes, and that's for DPW stuff. Not
But
fire.
Madison is part of the Greater Ossipee Municipal Aid Fire,
Yes.
as well as almost all of the other fire agencies in the county, except for Wolfboro and North Conway.
Wolfboro, I can see. North Conway?
North Conway's a separate fire department from all the other recently merged fire departments in Conway, I understand. So almost all the fire departments are part of this, including Madison, but not North Conway, not Wolfboro. And I don't know whether they pay fees, because we're not involved with that. That's the town doing that,
Right.
because we use their fire department. But I didn't know that. I hadn't, so I will prepare the slide and the entry into the handout for this discussion. And I will make the motion to change the order of, I'll start this off, and we can debate it.
Okay, but if I understand the big picture, the actual verbiage that's in the existing contract for this referendum on Saturday doesn't matter a jot. The fact, all they need to know is that there's been this in-place contract for many years, and we want to amend it to include a fee. And if we need to make changes to the contract to change those.
Right, we
That-
won't complicate it by putting the other details of the
Right,
contract in
right.
there. The main thing is,
We want to
Do-
amend it to a fee.
we want to change the major nature of this from, we're giving this away free.
Right.
So it's basically it'll be the same contract with an amendment that charges a fee. And then we move on to the next article, and then we want to establish a contract, which doesn't exist now, for Conway, also with a fee. And the reason being is Conway is using our facilities, but without
Yes.
a contract.
Yes.
And
Now, we may,
people may ask, how did that happen?
well, that's
Well-
the point, is that we may want to make changes to this thing that the sheriff's department would have had to formally notified us that they were doing something like that with Conway. And I haven't studied that part of the contract to see whether it says they have the right to bring in other agencies into the agreement that we have with them without telling us. Like, if you get that, but I'm not gonna make that part of the referendum that we
Right,
asked, because
Right. Just
we'll
neither
have,
here nor
we'll
there.
have 40 people, 60 people writing a contract at the
Right.
annual meeting, and
Right. And that change would have happened in the early 2000s, because that's how long Conway's had stuff in there.
Huh.
So.
why do you say that? Why would it have happened? Based on the talents of the people we had on our end?
Any agreement, any notice from the sheriff's department that there was gonna be an additional entity using the space or having ears on the antenna would have happened in the early 2000s. Because it happened before 2009.
What limits it to having to happen then?
Well, you were questioning whether or not whether or not we were ever notified that Conway was putting equipment in there. I'm giving you the time frame that we need to look as to whether or not there was notification. And I don't know if we'll find anything.
You don't, it could have happened, but you might not remember it happening?
It would have happened before
Bef-
2009 because it didn't happen after,
And that was before you?
that was before me.
That's your point.
I started in
I-
January of
now I understand.
2009.
Okay.
And it hasn't happened then. It was 2017 when we were talking to the sheriff to get it ratified for that year.
But you don't know whether it's in the current contract that they need to notify us of things like that?
They do have to notify us.
Okay.
I just can't say whether or not they notified us somewhere prior to 2009
Which means they probably don't know either.
So
Well,
it would be very old documentation that
Yeah.
we'd have to try to find.
there is a sheriff tower folder.
Okay,
Right,
we'll look at that Thursday.
so we'll look through it and see if we can find something from back then.
Did you ever look through it?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's good
Don't.
that you brought it up.
It's a scary file, I've been through it.
Okay, so I think we have a handle on all of this, even though it was a difficult
Yeah.
Right.
communication. I got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll work on all that, and I'll clean up the document. And it will be labeled as a draft, so there's no confusion that this is not exactly what they signed in 2017.
Right,
I see. But you're only gonna make up a blurb for presentation.
And how big is the blurb?
I don't know, that would be
I'm gonna
up to
fit it
you.
all on one
some
8.5
blurbs are bigger than others.
8.5 by 11. I just have to decide whether he wants a portrait or landscape.
I think he wants it landscape.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So, how are you with your commissioner's report?
Okay, so, yeah, there was this document, so
Yeah,
obviously we'll go through and correct anything we need to for who is speaking on what. Through that, we'll have the amendment ready for that. We'll have any amendments that we need for, this would be
line
helpful.
items?
This would be helpful for Thursday. Do we need an updated budget? Or is the budget,
The budget hasn't changed.
hasn't
since-
changed? Okay,
You guys haven't voted on to change anything yet, so.
Okay. so we'll just double check that
If
to
you're
see
gonna
if there's any line
change
items.
anything,
We'll go
yeah.
through, we
Yeah.
won't change the budget as a handout.
Correct.
We will change the budget
Yeah.
by
On the
motions on
annual,
the floor.
yes, yeah,
Gotcha.
so we'll be able to look through the budget and see whether,
But that'll
what line
give you an
items we
idea.
need to
We'll
look
make all
at.
of our changes in one motion and then the motion is to change the bottom line.
Correct.
Yes.
We'll articulate which line items
Okay.
we're
Yes.
justifying the bottom line change.
Beautiful.
Yeah, okay, and the other thing I had, and this, we're gonna wait until after annual meeting for this, but Bob sent a copy of the cover of the town meeting, book, which made me recognize immediately all the books from NHMA are no longer available in the office.
No.
And we probably wanna replace some of them. The planning and budgeting book is a spectacular reference for commissioners and for Jennifer.
Yep.
The town meeting
Yep.
goes through the clerk's duties as well as the moderator's duties. So,
Were these thrown away by a previous board?
they were.
Why? Because they were available online?
Because they like throwing them
No,
away.
because if I used it, it was no longer correct.
Gotcha.
History. But yes,
In the NHMA would send us all the, because those are updated books.
They are,
Yeah.
because we're members.
yeah,
We-
yeah, so we're
free.
members, so we should be able to get at least one.
I
And
downloaded them, at least 3 with the amendments.
But
right,
that's
but we're
something
gonna want hard copies.
we
Oh,
want,
gotcha.
so we want to make a note of this in the minutes, that we're gonna take care of this after the annual meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay,
What else you have?
that was all I had.
Okay.
yep.
So at 10:05, we will move to correspondence. And there's a request for naming the playground.
Yeah,
Maybe we can make short work of this. Jennifer would have no idea of the history
Correct.
of what's
No.
involved with the messes that are made when
No.
anybody ever attempts to do
no,
something like
and
this.
he mentioned, talking about it at the annual meeting, he misunderstood.
It's,
I said it would be the commissioners' meeting, which is today,
Mhm.
so I just wanna
yeah,
make that correction.
Oh, so would this be an EPOA?
No.
no,
No?
it's the district's property,
Okay.
So just to give you a background,
and we don't do this.
in the 40 years,
I see.
there's been a lot of people that have done lots of work for the village as elected officials and as volunteers. And we have people over time that want to rename roads. They want to erect things in the Hutwell parking lot and put signs on them dedicating to the memory. And these people do not have any history that compares in the least with other people that we have not recognized by default policy of it
Okay.
opens up a can of worms,
Yep,
major emotional disagreements.
Yeah.
So it's like as soon as I hear that somebody has an idea
To
that
rename,
wants to name the playground after somebody who just happened to own property here, that never
right,
was involved in anything like other people have been heavily involved with over
Right.
many years,
yep.
it's like immediately, we don't do that.
right. And we actually have a policy that says we don't name things after, set up for, memorial stuff.
We had a
Or
board.
we had one.
We had a board send money to a ski area in southern New Hampshire in memory of a person that passed away that owned a second home in here. What? So,
So I can understand, it makes perfect sense, but let me just put out a what if out there. What if this person said, I would like to donate a bench to be put into the playground with a plaque on it says in memory of? I mean, would we allow something like that?
No.
As long as they,
We've had
Pay
the
for everything?
discussions
Nothing.
many
Okay,
times,
that's all I'm
many
asking.
years,
Yeah.
and the
you have to
answer has
live
always
through
been
one of
no.
these
yeah.
to say-
No, I understand, but I'm just saying.
If they wanna donate a bench, fine. If it's got the catch that it opens up a door that other people are gonna come and have all kinds of things, ideas in any kind
Right.
of
Right,
imaginable way,
okay,
beyond what you
that's-
can imagine.
I'm getting it out there so it's clear
Yep.
on the record
Yep.
that
Yep. Yeah, we simply just don't do that.
you can donate a
We have
bench. but
such a
not
high
with the-
turnover too, is
Right.
nobody has this corporate memory of what a mess this is
Right.
to do this, so. There was even debate as to whether there should be a memorial for the armed forces at the flagpole at the time. It didn't have anybody's name on it,
Are you leaving?
and that got by, because,
Because it doesn't have anybody's name on
and
it.
it's the armed forces of the United States that were,
It's a big just
Commemorating.
blanket, and they,
Right.
Madison has here, if you want your name on it, you know. they already
the
have it.
bench that's at the office, outside the office, that was donated, that doesn't have any plaques
Does not
on
have
it.
a name or anything on it.
I
Okay,
mean, routing.
that's why I just put it out there as a what if.
What
Yeah.
the account number is. I need to find out.
Yes.
I can't
So,
find it anywhere.
So I think Jennifer
Do-
just needs to answer this, that we have,
I'm
there's a
sorry.
long-standing policy, there's a policy in place that
Yeah.
this sort of thing isn't done.
Yep,
So, I think we just cite the policy that Nancy brought up and say that we don't do this.
Yep.
so you think it's in the book?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we send a letter in reply
Yeah.
citing the policy that we
Yep.
don't do things like this.
Yes.
Needs a
Yes.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
3-0. So at,
And,
I'll
and
give you a
at the
chance to
same,
catch up.
at the same time, sorry for your loss.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a lovely idea, but there would be names on everything over there, I think, if you allowed
would.
it. Trees, whatnot, yeah.
And all the people that had ideas and had the policy stop them would now come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, oh, they definitely would. By saying, I requested that
Yes,
years ago
yes.
and was told no, yeah.
Right.
Okay,
So if you're ready at 10:11, we'll do public appearances.
A couple of quick items.
Yep.
Election item. Jen, can you send me a copy in Word form of all the materials that are going to be used, in the budget, except for the budget, I don't need that, but the warrant and so forth? I use all that to build the minutes. I've got to get it into Word somehow to do that.
Yeah.
If you could send me the Word.
I've sent you stuff.
Yeah, I've got some of this, just want to make sure I have all the current stuff. I don't think I have the warrant in Word, I
You
converted
do,
it.
you do, because I sent it to You have it, you have it.
Oh, okay.
I'll find it
Sorry.
again, send it to you, but I know I sent it to you.
Okay, I'll look again.
Yeah.
I saw the PDF one, I converted it, but it's very helpful.
You want it in Word?
Yes.
Word. Yeah.
Oh, okay, you might not have it in Word.
Okay, well, send me what you can and I'll convert. Very helpful.
Okay, so you're looking for the budget and?
No, not the budget.
Okay,
Just the warrant.
Just the warrant
okay.
in
gotcha.
Word, and we did create a
We did.
Word
We got them
document, so
both.
we can send it to you.
And
Yeah.
any attachments or handouts that are gonna be used as well, so that I can get those if there are any.
You can,
I'm not gonna get it, I'm not gonna have anything till Thursday.
That's fine.
Okay.
right.
Just a, I think you've already talked about this, the printer scanner, in the Wednesday, and I understand. You're holding the old unit until after Saturday, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Just in case.
Oh, it's
It's
gonna be
already in
fine.
the garbage.
That's in the
it's gonna be
office.
fine.
And then we can offer it as a boat anchor to somebody.
Well, Nancy needs a printer, I know that.
Whoever's going to speak to that can easily make the justification for it. The calculations show that a printer like the one that we had used, the toner cost alone is higher for the year.
Do you want, can you speak to the article and take the minutes at the same time?
I got it down for me to speak
Oh,
on
yeah.
that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, both of you can.
And
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and Jen can pop in too.
Well, you all did a good job representing that at the hearing, and I could,
Right.
I could just pop on and add that comment about the cost. I think it's actually going to, the case will be made that it's going to reduce cost.
Yes.
Yes.
That
Yeah, but
point
not-
was brought up, but you've already
not
done all
just
the
that,
calculations.
the use alone and scanning capabilities is just,
Savings of your time, yeah.
you know,
And the PDFA.
yes.
Three things, time saving, cost reduction, and PDFA.
Yeah.
Three things.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, that's it.
yeah, and the PDFA is really needed. That's huge, because that's how we can keep things.
Okay, enough on the printer?
Yep.
What else we have?
That's it.
okay.
Have anything, Dinah?
Yep.
All set?
Oh,
Okay.
I'll call you about that number.
So
okay.
we'll
I don't
say
know
that
the
was
full
public
number.
comments too.
Oh, they can find it in.
Yes.
There's no non-public session. The next meeting we have is at the elementary school starting at 8 a.m. for voting, 10 o'clock for the deliberative portion and voting on the warrant articles.
Yep.
Then the following meeting will be Tuesday, March 11th, and then Tuesday, March 18th, and Tuesday, March 25th. So it's Tuesday mornings through the rest of March.
I've got one more thing, and that may not be for this meeting, but should we discuss the recovered monies? So I'm not sure I quite understood that completely.
I
The
think,
amount.
I think we need to wait for the insurance company to send paperwork. Then we should start discussing that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Just for the record, the insurance company sent an email saying they're gonna send us a check for the stolen money. And the amount they put in the check is greater than we may have been expecting, but we
Yep.
need to see what their conclusion was. Because they may know things, the bank, in JP Morgan Bank, we haven't seen that report either. So rather than us starting to do unnecessary work, let's wait for them to send us information, start
Yes.
working
So
on that.
we have the full picture first.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Yep. All right.
Yes. But it is nice just to know that there's some reimbursement
That we are getting
that's gonna be
monies.
coming.
Yeah, another
Yes.
promise.
Yeah.
FEMA has made me skeptic.
So we actually
Yeah.
see the money
I
and
might
it's
have
in our
been a
bank.
skeptic before that.
Yeah.
Show me the money.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn this meeting at 10:16.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Carol.